Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. In this video we are going to be going through the hardest fight in Sephiroth's Lost Chapter, One Winged Angel Part 15. And without further ado, let's start this video straight away. As always, we'll start off with the weaknesses, resistances, and the abilities of the boss. And in this case, it's going to be bosses, because we are going to be fighting 3 different mannequins. And we'll start off with Sephiroth. Now with Sephiroth, he doesn't have any weaknesses or resistances, just like any other mannequin. He has his normal brave attack and HP attack. He does have access to all his abilities like Octo Slash, which is a melee brave attack plus an HP attack, something to look out for. He's got the Fervent Blow, which is a ranged brave attack. Don't worry, it's not the level 60 version, so it doesn't have an HP attack. Next, it has Black Materia, which is a group HP magic attack after increasing its brave based on its initial brave and absorbing 1/5 of all the enemy's braves. And finally, of course, he has his signature ability, Heartless Angel, which reduces all the target's brave to 1. Next, let's take a look at Cloud Mannequin's abilities. It's pretty simple. He has his brave and HP attack, basically, and he has access to Cross Slash, and that's pretty much about it. So Cross Slash is basically the same thing as our own Cloud, which is a melee brave attack plus an HP attack, which also has a low chance of inflicting paralyze. It doesn't have any weaknesses or resistance as well, just to note. And finally, we have the Vincent Mannequin abilities. First off, it doesn't have any weaknesses or resistances. As for its abilities, it does have its normal brave attack and normal HP attack. Then it has Deadly Beast Flare, which we should all be familiar with, which is a ranged fire brave attack, which also inflicts an initial brave down and a fire resist down. This also grants himself a fire enchant buff. And finally, it has Live Wire Shot, which is a range brave attack, which inflicts a attack down and a thunder resist down, and which also grants himself a max brave up and gives himself the thunder enchant buff. Okay, so now that we know the abilities, the weaknesses, and resistances of all the 3 mannequins we're going to be fighting, it's time to take a look at some general tips and guides. And first off, it's going to be to save about 70% of your abilities for the boss. Now, ideally, you do have about 70% because Sephiroth Mannequin actually has a ton of HP, so be ready for a little bit of a long fight if you don't have a lot of DPS in your team. The next one is to obviously bring in the boosted characters such as Sephiroth, Eiko, and Vincent. As for other characters that you may want to consider bringing, there are an abundance of characters right now that are available that you can definitely bring. So the first one is Golbez. And then we got Quistis, Cloud, and Furion both had their reworks. I put in Locke there because he does do a little bit of healing as well, so he's not a bad character to bring. However, I haven't really tried him out, so yeah, I have all his weapons, it just never max limit broke him. Next is Kuja, then you got Agrius, Bards, Paladin Cecil, which I actually tried, and you will see him in this video later on. Then we've got Kane, which obviously got his buff as well. Then we got Lightning. Galuf I put here because he can definitely dodge those attacks and can prevent you from getting melee attacks, which basically is Cloud. And Sephiroth, for the most part, is mostly his Octo Slash you want to avoid. Then we got Ishtola, then we got Onion Knight, of course, having his rework as well. And of course, we have the two-winged angel Renoa here as well. I put Edge here as a last one because I feel like his dodge would be really nice here. Of course, I don't think he can dodge the black materia. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really use him a lot, but I think his dodge ability is really nice. As for healers plus Brave Battery option, we got Rem, Selphie, Maria, Eiko, Lena, and of course Kate Sith. I'm actually contemplating whether to put Locke here as well because he sort of has that kit, but let me know that in the comments below if you think Locke is more of a DPS character or more of a brave healer type of character. And finally, of course, for the summon, you have to bring Ifrit because he's the only summon that we have that you can get to level 30. So he's probably the best choice, seeing as there are no elemental weaknesses or resistances for this fight. Okay, so let's take a look at some general tips and guides for the fight itself. Let's start off with the support. Now, for the support, there are quite a lot of characters that you can bring, but I would really suggest you bringing some AoE support because there are 3 mannequins and you really want to just kill off the other ones with just the extra splash damage that you can get from your support. So obviously Golbez is one of the first one. Then we've got Renoa. Varian I put here because he isn't actually a bad support to bring, especially with his 100% HP damage to all for his EX. And of course we have Sephiroth, which is the permanent character for this Lost chapter. And finally, I still have Quistis here as the last one, sort of for delay. But otherwise, if you can think of any other characters, then definitely let me know down in the comments below. Now, for the next tip I have is what I said earlier. Basically, use the splash damage to take down Cloud and the Vincent mannequins. Basically, you don't really want to spend a lot of your abilities on these mannequins if you can help it. Obviously, if you have a lot more extra, then you're feel free to actually use them on the mannequins. But the Sephiroth mannequin has a ton of HP, and I would really suggest that you can just try and take down the others with the splash damage that you can get from your characters and of course your support characters. Now the next one is to bring in a healer, because Sephiroth mannequin will use black materia as his first move, so you will definitely lose some HP. So bringing a healer will negate that, and actually the Sephiroth mannequin is quite aggressive in using the black materia, so just make sure that you actually use up all your brave when it's about to use an attack all, so that it won't grab about a fifth of your brave and end up killing you. And I must say they are all of the mannequins are quite aggressive in using their HP attacks at some point, so just be careful there. And this kind of leads into my final point as well, which is be careful if you're using Renoa. And I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna use her. She's probably the best character that we have right now, especially with her splash damage and her longevity. But she does lose some HP, so if you don't have a Lena backing you up with the heal, then please be careful, because you can keep using your HP Winged Angel and you end up going half of your HP is gone, and Sephiroth suddenly gets his brave back and pretty much kills you. So just be careful with that. In my playthrough, I never seen Sephiroth actually use Octo Slash, maybe because I ended up killing him quicker than he would actually use it, but he's been using a lot of Fervent Blows, which is okay as long as you can break him back, so you should be fine. But yeah, black materia, be careful. Okay, so now that we have gotten rid of all the general tips and stuff, let's take a look at some possible party compositions. The first one is, of course, going to be your boosted characters, which are Sephiroth, Vincent, and Eiko. And for your support, it's an abundance of characters that I just mentioned before. It's going to be Rinoa, Golbez, Sephiroth, whoever splash damage that you want. You can even bring Firion there if you want. And of course, for the summon, it's going to have to be Ifrit in this case. For the next one, I have Rinoa, Lena, and Golbez. Now, if you've seen the first video, basically a few minutes ago, I ended up using Rinoa, Lena, and Sephiroth. Now, I only brought Sephiroth in order for me to get the reward there, but if you want to replace him, or if you've already gotten that reward, then Golbez is probably a better option if you don't have Sephiroth's EX like I do. And quick note, I did pull behind the scenes and used up all my gems and never got it. And I'm really sad. I ended up with 30 gems left, just FYI. I just had to say it out there. And I'm really sad, but you know, you win him, you lose him sometimes. Yeah, and for the support, again, it's going to be an abundance of characters. I just put Quistis here, but again, a splash damage, an extra splash damage won't hurt. And of course, for the summon, you have Ifrit again. Now, the third one I have here is the Firion Cloud Lena combination. Basically, with this one, I just wanted to use the rework characters, and they actually work pretty well, especially with Lena. Obviously, probably the best support character that you can have, and yeah, it ended up working pretty well. Decent score, not as high obviously as my first one, but still quite decent. Golbez for the support, again, it's really up to you. I'm just putting names out there. It can be anyone at all, as long as you can do some splash damage, you should be fine. And finally, I have here Kefka, Golbez, Lena with a Firion support and Ifrit summon. Now, Kefka is an interesting one. I really wish I managed to get his EX, because with his Trine ability, you can avoid getting Black Materia. So essentially, Lena here is replaceable with someone else. If you want to bring another DPS, then that's fine, as long as you can kill Sephiroth within those 8 turns, I suppose, that he doesn't use Black Materia. Because once you use Trine on him, he will just keep using all attack every single time until he manages to actually use Black Materia. So if you can keep reapplying Trine and the debuff, the HP damage debuff, then you should be fine in this case. Now, I actually tried this with a Final Fantasy IV team with Kefka and who did I bring? I think it was Beatrix, and I can't remember the other Final Fantasy IX character that I brought in. But I did try. I ended up going I think over 100 turns because I ran out of abilities. I wasn't really trying to achieve anything. I just wanted to see how well Beatrix and all them can do now that we have a lot of new meta characters. And yeah, they're not really as strong as they used to be. I suppose they just got power crept. That's the best way I can explain it. And for the summon, again, Ifrit is the best one. Alright, so now that we have gotten everything in the way and we are at the end of this video, it's time to give you guys my thoughts on this lost chapter. Well, to be honest, I wasn't really worried about this lost chapter anymore, for the simple fact that we do have a lot of strong characters that have recently come out. However, for new players, obviously this is going to be quite a challenge, and I would recommend trying to at least get some of the characters that I have mentioned, which will make this fight quite easier than you would imagine it would be. Now, Sephiroth does have a ton of HP, and there's no getting away from that. And the simple fact that he will keep spamming black materia later on in the fight, it's quite unavoidable. So actually bringing a healer is going to help you here. I mean, we have access to Lena, and we have access to Eiko in the lost chapters now, so there shouldn't be any reason for you not to try and grab them. Obviously, grabbing them and getting their weapons is another story, so if you are a new player, then you probably will have to spend some power tokens in order to get at least their 35 CP weapon. And I do believe you get a free copy of Lena's 15 CP, so you can max limit break that, but her 35 CP is probably the gem that you want. Now, I did mention earlier that I have tried a few different combinations or party compositions for this one, because I did have the time this time around. As you guys can see, this is my Final Fantasy IV team that I used, and I will show you guys the Cloud and Furion just right after this. So I don't really want to make it into a longer video, so I will probably cut it just right about the end, just to show you guys that I have cleared it with Cloud, Furion, and Lena. And overall, again, this fight can be difficult for new players, but for the veteran players out there that have an abundant or a variety of characters available to them, this shouldn't be a problem for you guys. And yeah, the only thing to really watch out for is Sephiroth's massive HP, and other than that, the black materia, there's other ways to deal with that. Either just keep using all your HP, your brave, make sure he doesn't steal any of them, and of course healing over that, and of course Kefka can use his Trine ability as well. So I think I'll end the video right here, guys. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful at all. As always, I'd like to hear from you guys what you think of this fight, and which team did you use in order to clear this lost chapter. You only need 200,000 points in order to get all the rewards, so it shouldn't be too hard. Hopefully you guys get it. And make sure to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Monchkinz Gaming. You can add me as a friend on Facebook, direct message me there, or yeah, follow me on Twitter, direct message me there if you have any questions, and I'll try to my best to answer you guys as quick as I can. And I think that's it. This is Monchkinz logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.